She dropped out of school, sold fish on the beach, and later became one of the most feared ministers in Southeast Asia. In a world where success is often measured by diplomas, titles, and privilege, one woman shattered every expectation. Her name is Susi Pudjiastuti. She was not born into political power. She did not graduate from university. In fact, she never even finished high school. Yet somehow, she built a seafood empire, created an airline, saved isolated communities, and became a symbol of courage for millions of Indonesians. This is not just a story about business or politics. This is a story about resilience, about daring to be different, and about proving that determination can defeat limitation. Susi was born in Pangandaran, a small coastal town in West Java, Indonesia, in 1965. Growing up near the ocean shaped her life from an early age. She watched fishermen return from the sea every morning, carrying hope inside their nets. But life was not always easy. As a teenager, Susi struggled in school. Eventually, she dropped out of high school. For many people, that would have been the end of their dreams. Society often tells us that failure in education means failure in life. But Susi refused to believe that. Instead of giving up, she entered the real classroom of life, the marketplace. At only 17 years old, she began selling fish. Not in a fancy office, not with investors, not with millions of dollars, just fish, hard work, and courage. Every morning, Susi bought seafood from local fishermen and sold it to larger markets. She worked tirelessly. While others slept, she negotiated prices. While others complained, she searched for opportunities. Slowly, her small business grew. Years later, she founded a seafood export company called PTASI, Pudjiastuti Marine Product, specializing in high-quality seafood exports. Her products reached international markets across Asia and America, but success brought new problems. Fresh seafood had to be delivered quickly. Transportation became a major challenge. Most people would wait for better infrastructure. Susi did something different. She bought an airplane. Yes, an airplane. In 2004, she purchased a Cessna Caravan aircraft and created Susi Air. At first, the plane was only meant to transport seafood. But soon, Susi realized something bigger. Many remote areas in Indonesia had almost no transportation access. Some villages could only be reached by small aircraft. So Susi Air became more than a business, it became a lifeline. Then came tragedy. In 2004, a devastating tsunami struck Aceh and parts of Sumatra. Entire communities were destroyed. Roads disappeared, communication collapsed. People were isolated and desperate. During this disaster, Susi Air became one of the first responders delivering food, medicine, and supplies into remote areas. While many companies focused on profit, Susi focused on people. Her small airline flew into dangerous regions where others would not go. This moment changed the future of Susi Air forever. Humanitarian organizations began chartering her planes. Her fleet expanded. Eventually, Susi Air became one of the largest operators of Cessna Grand Caravan aircraft in the Asia-Pacific region. But even with all her success, Susi never tried to look perfect. She spoke honestly. She dressed casually. She smoked openly. She had tattoos. She did not fit the image of a traditional politician or business leader. And maybe that was exactly why people trusted her. She was real. In 2014, something unbelievable happened. Indonesia's newly elected president, Joko Widodo, appointed Susi Pudjiastuti as Minister of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries. The country was shocked. A former fish seller, a businesswoman without a high school diploma, a woman with tattoos and a fearless personality. Many doubted her. Critics questioned her education. Others mocked her appearance. But Susi didn't waste time defending herself. She went to work. And what she did next made the world pay attention. At that time, illegal fishing was costing Indonesia billions of dollars. Foreign vessels entered Indonesian waters illegally and stole marine resources. Susi took a bold stand. She ordered the capture and even destruction of illegal fishing boats operating in Indonesian waters. Images of exploding illegal vessels spread across international media. Some people called her controversial. Others called her reckless. But many Indonesians saw something else: leadership. For the first time in years, fishermen felt protected. The oceans belonged to Indonesia again. Studies later suggested that her aggressive anti-illegal fishing policies significantly reduced illegal fishing activity and improved fish stocks. Susi proved that leadership is not about looking powerful. It is about having the courage to make difficult decisions. The story of Susi Pudjiastuti teaches us several powerful lessons. First, education is important, but it is not the only path to success. Knowledge can come from experience, persistence, and curiosity. Second, being different is not a weakness. The world often pressures people to fit into neat categories. But Susi succeeded precisely because she stayed true to herself. And third, courage changes everything. Courage to start small, courage to fail, courage to speak honestly, courage to stand alone when necessary. Many people wait for perfect conditions before chasing their dreams. Susi started with what she had: a small town, a fish business, and determination. That was enough. Today, Susi Pudjiastuti remains one of the most respected public figures in Indonesia. Not because she followed the rules of success, but because she rewrote them. She became proof that background does not define destiny, that a dropout can become a minister, that a fish seller can build an airline, that authenticity can become strength. Her journey reminds us that greatness rarely begins with comfort. It begins with struggle. And sometimes the people who are underestimated the most become the ones who change a nation. So the next time life tells you that you are not qualified enough, not educated enough, not rich enough, or not powerful enough, remember the woman from Pangandaran, the woman who sold fish, the woman who built planes, the woman who protected the sea. Susi Pudjiastuti showed the world one simple truth. Your limits are not decided by your past, but by how brave you are to keep moving forward.